Hey guys, welcome to Louis United, welcome to another video, and today's time to talk about Riqui Puig, about the masterclass that he gave against Athletic, and why it is an embarrassment that we've wasted 2 years of Riqui Puig, of possibly, building a player, teaching him or giving him experience so he can be the best version of Riqui Puig as soon as possible. And I think that we can all agree that Riqui Puig was the catalyst that initiated, Barcelona going back to performing pretty decently in the Athletic Bilbao game after the first half, where I think before the water break we were playing pretty decently. And I just wanted to attach some of the comments that I've been hearing in social media, and that is that apparently a lot of people think that other than Riqui Puig and Ansu Fati, apparently Barcelona were not playing as good. But my take on it is, what were you going to expect? We're playing against Athletic. Like, if you see the last 10 games that we played against Athletic, tell me how many of those games is being comfortable for Barcelona. In the Luis Enrique era, in the Pep Guardiola era, it's always been very difficult to play against Athletic Bilbao. Against Athletic is always a very difficult game. It's like playing Atletico Madrid by a bit worse, because they always give 100% in intensity in every single game. So getting the result was the most important thing, and I thought that the players gave it their all. Piqué gave it their all. Busquets was a bit better. Like, everyone was playing with 100% concentration and intensity, and we stopped being a bit more in control of the game because Athletic were just doing their thing, lunging balls forward for Iñaki, crossing. Like, it's their speciality, and it's our greatest weakness, that kind of play. So all things considered, I think that we were pretty decent, but Riqui Puig is what allowed us to go into 5th and 6th gear. Like, it was just very important for Riqui Puig to go into the game. He activated us. He, pretty much, there was a comment on Twitter that I don't remember the user, but he said that thanks to Riqui Puig, Messi, instead of having to create plus attack, can just focus now on just attacking. And it is very important, and something that I've mentioned time and time again, that Messi, in order to see the best Messi, because Messi is able to do a lot of things during the game, but the best thing that Messi knows how to do is to score goals, is to take players on and score goals. That's his best attribute. And in order to do that, we need to allow him to be more focused on just doing that than in creating. Because if he's creating, then we have to depend on someone else to score goals. And there's no one better in the Barcelona team to score goals than Lionel Messi. Therefore, if we give him a partner that can, deliver the ball to him in the dangerous era, that would be very important for Messi to be able to give us 100% of his ability. So, and that is Riqui Puig, because Riqui Puig, at his 20 years old that he is right now, he's better than De Jong, than Artur, than Rakitic, than Busquets, and than Arturo Vidal in creation. In terms of creating play, he's our best central midfielder, and there is no doubts about it. He is our best central midfielder in terms of creation. So I don't understand why we've been wasting 2 years since the summer of 2018, since that preseason of summer 2018. He's been ready. Riqui Puig has been ready to at least be given minutes, and he's been given scraps. Like, he hasn't played literally anything. And those 2 years, if we would have given Riqui Puig, I'm not saying that he needs to play 4,000, 3,000 minutes a season. I'm just saying given 1,500 minutes a season. Given 1,500. Get him to come off the bench more often than not, so he can change the game as we saw yesterday. Allow him to do that, because he's one of the best players that we have in the squad to do so. He has that vision, he has the composure, he has the creativity. He's the closest thing to Iniesta that we have at the moment. Like, he's a bit worse than Coutinho creating, but he's more organized in center midfield, and that's why Riqui Puig is able to play in center midfield, because he's more organized than Coutinho in that sense, and he's allowed us to create. So instead of looking for Pjanic, for all these weird things that we've been hearing about, don't. We have Riqui Puig. Honestly, if you want to sell Artur for 80 million, then like I mentioned yesterday, bring Tonali. Bring Tonali for 60, bring Camavinga for 60, depending on what you want to do. And I'll be happy with that. I think that in the future midfield, you can put Frenkie de Jong as a pivot, and then Tonali and Riqui Puig, Tonali and Camavinga, Riqui Puig. Those are good options. Like, we have the capabilities of building a good team. Therefore, let's build a good team by doing this. Don't do like Pjanic, so now Setien has the option of doing Busquets, Pjanic, Rakitic, Pjanic, Vidal, Rakitic, something like that. Like no, it's just not a thing. We don't need those kind of things. We need to give opportunities to the youngsters. Trincao seems to be a good player, but we didn't need Trincao. We already had Ansu Fati, we already had Dembele. Two wingers that are supposed to be the wingers for the next decade. Where is Trincao going to play then? We had the likes of Carles Perez that was already, adjusted to playing at Barcelona. Was he going to be a world-class player? I don't know. Maybe not, probably not. But at least he was contributing, he was useful for us, he was scoring goals for us this season. Some of them more important than others. Abel Ruiz. I'm sure that Abel Ruiz is going to bang at Braga, and he's going to get a big move somewhere else, and we're going to regret it. I can guarantee that right now, because Abel Ruiz, he's a striker that is perfect for Barcelona. Like, he is a little bit of a less aggressive Luis Suarez. Like, his movement is excellent. And because, and I've been hearing this argument a lot, that because they weren't able to do it in Segunda B, they weren't able to do it with Barca B, then how can they succeed at Barcelona? And the thing is that doesn't matter. Like, it's harder to succeed in a worse team than in a better team. Because Barcelona B is a worse team than Barcelona, and they're playing in an, in theory, easier league. But they're not the dominant side in Segunda B. Barcelona are the dominant side in La Liga. Instead of playing next to the likes of, in all respects, to Moncho and Collado, who I think are pretty decent players, you're going to be playing next to Frenkie de Jong, next to Rakitic, next to Busquets, next to Messi with Luis Suarez. Instead of having, I don't know who's right now the striker, I think it's Ray Manash, the striker at Barca B. Instead of having Ray Manash finishing chances, you're going to have Luis Suarez. Instead of having Akieme going up the winger and have Jordi Alba. You see, much of a better advantage of playing with those players. So, if they're not able to do anything with that, that doesn't mean that they cannot do it in the first team. It just means that, hey, maybe the team is struggling. They don't have what it takes to, play at Segunda B and compete. But individually, these players have the potential to be superstars. And I'm not saying that, when I say trust in the youngsters, I don't mean like, let's field in 11 of the Barca B players and try them out. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that when you have the opportunity of Riqui Puig and Ansu Fati especially, you try them out. You need to use them because they're ready. About Monchu, Collado, Oriol Busquets, like all Araujo, all the other players, okay, you can be a bit more skeptic about it. But when you see that Riqui Puig has the quality, you need to use him. When you see that Ansu Fati has been better than Griezmann, has been better than Braithwaite, you need to start him, because we need to have the best version of Ansu Fati, we need to have the best version of Luis Suarez, and we need to have the best version of Lionel Messi for the Champions League. We need those players. We need Riqui Puig, that if we depend on him to create in the Champions League, coming off the bench, he needs to be on a good state of form. He needs to be adapted to the team. The teammates have to be adapted of playing with him. What are his movements? Where is he going to go? What does he think of doing? All those things need to happen, and all those things you get with game time. If you don't get game time with them, if you don't adapt them to do that, then it's not good. It's going to be an eventual failure. Like, you don't have to trust on every youngster, but on the ones that you see clearly the potential, you need to start trying them out. Slowly but surely, you need to start trying them out. instead of selling Todibo for 20 to 25 million, because I don't know where you're gonna find a better center back at that age for 20 to 25 million. Instead of doing that, try Todibo. Like, what is the problem? Piqué can play next season 70% of the minutes, and he's 33 already, so give Todibo 30%, give him 1,500 minutes, give him 2,000 minutes. Start slowly shifting him into the side. You need to start doing those kind of things. Even if Titi is inconsistent and cannot get in the pitch consistently, you need to sell him. You need to sell him, bring in Todibo, maybe try in Araujo, or like I said, bring in Alaba and sell Junior Firpo, so you have both a player that can cover at center back and a left back that's been pretty good this season and has been one of the best left backs of the past decade. Start doing those kind of things. Like, would you really tell me that you cannot do those things? Like Cucurella. We sent Cucurella on loan to Eibar, and he was excellent. Like, he proved that he is a first division caliber player. Like, he was one of the best players of Eibar that season. And what we decided to do instead of trusting him, let's loan him to Getafe, let's give them an option to buy of 6 million euros, and let's spend 18 million euros plus, I think, like 7 or 12 million on add-ons for Junior Firpo. But your argument was apparently Cucurella played as a left midfielder, so he's not like, he didn't play as a left back. Well, Junior Firpo plays as a fullback, like he played as a wing back. He didn't really play as a left back either, and we've seen it this season that defensively he struggles a bit. So what was the problem of playing Cucurella at left back, where he's been playing at left back pretty much his whole career until now? Try him in. Like, Barcelona left backs and full backs don't really need to be heavily defensively as long as we have the ball. As long as we have the ball, they can pretty much focus and attack a big deal, and he has a lot of speed to recover. We've seen how important the speed is for our fullbacks. Semedo and Alba are able to be really good defensively sometimes, and most of the time, because of their defensive capabilities, of their speed. That's able to push them to the next level. So Riqui Puig needs to be tried out and needs to be given opportunities so he's able to succeed at the highest level possible. Let's stop wasting players, let's stop wasting time, because we need these players now, and we need them to be ready to compete at the highest level. But with that said and done, leave me all your opinions in the comment section below. Comment, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next one, Blaugranas.